Welcome, everyone. Dr. Eve here. Hope you all are doing well. Stopping in for a little afternoon chat. I was watching a video earlier, or maybe it was an infomercial, a clip of Will Smith having a conversation with a group of people where he began talking about what is your why? And he began talking about these three words: love, time, and death, and how these three words were what you say, something we all experience: love, time, and death on in pursuit of life. We all want to find love. We all would like to have more time, and we want to avoid death. I believe that's how he put it. And it got me to thinking about my journey and all that I want people to learn from the importance of designing a life with God's will in mind, and as He uses you in your personal brand, because it's personal. Everyone's walk out here is personal. And so as I thought about his question, though, it's always a question that I ask myself about nearly everything. And that is why? Why? And it got me to thinking, I've been recording my life and stories, and just a desire to leave history for my children and my husband, my family for years to come. But as I teach, I've been called to really help others to develop their brand stories in preparation for being a first responder, no matter what. And what that simply means is that we are utilizing our gifts and talents according to God to be a first responder for God. And I got to thinking about the first time, my first journey into employment, aside from, working in a hospital and, academia, there were other corporate jobs. And I remember working at the World Affairs, hence reflection on world affairs. And it was such a positive reflection, because when we ask ourselves, what is our why? It is extremely important to remember that nothing shall be wasted, that every journey you took throughout life, God will use it all in one way or another. So I got to reflecting on the opportunity I had to work for an international organization called World Affairs and the Bodine High School for International Affairs. When I think about my role and responsibility there, which is something that I always teach those who are building their personal brands, is to visit your every single job you've ever had. You will find that on those jobs, every single one of them, there was something that was consistent that you actually loved about that job. We say, oh no, we didn't like that job, and we didn't like this job, and we didn't like that job. But in reality, if you were to have a moment of reflection at some point on that job, you showed up. You showed up on the job in your natural self. There was a skill, there was a talent, there was something that God gave you that you were able, a light was able to shine upon, whether that's customer service or making decisions or being analytical, or maybe even simply your values, right? Which are the most important characteristics to show up for you before you go through the door. So this job at the BODEAN, at the World Affairs Council, I had the privilege of working with some of the most amazing public figures in the world. I had the opportunity to coordinate events, which I still do. I had the opportunity to have conversations with people from other cultures, which I still do and still love, and still always desire to learn new cultures. I had the opportunity to host. I love being a good hostess. I had the opportunity to build community right there, utilizing this opportunity that I had working with the World Affairs. The other major piece for me over that year and a half was working as an advisor to some of the students, because the students were in high school. They were delegates from all over the world. The school was designed for children who were, I want to say they were children of the ambassadors who represented certain ethnicities. And so this high school was in center Philadelphia as well, and offered the opportunity for international relationships, for the students to learn international relationships, which is a part which is still something that I do. So when I think about why, when I think about my why, and I go back to look on all of the jobs God graced me and allowed me to be privileged to be someplace where I would learn along the way, not really sure about where my future was going. But one thing for sure and two things for certain was I showed up on the job 1,000%, and I was ready to learn, do what my dad taught me to do, and that was do more than what was required. So I don't want to keep you here long, but for all of you out there who are trying to build your brand story, just remember that nothing in your life will be wasted. And the question you should ask yourself as you are beginning to develop your story, everything mattered. Just ask yourself, why did it matter, right? When we begin to explore the use of the word why, we are then, God's going to show up and show you some things, because I know what he told me, and I wrote a chapter about it. And he says, nothing shall be wasted. Not one single thing, not one thing, nothing in your life will be wasted. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself in the beginning. I am Dr. Eve, your community health and human service educator and qualitative researcher and host of Touch One Life, Touch Million podcast. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. This is just a spontaneous, and I love the spontaneous because I'm always thinking. So the good thing about a brand is that you want to take people on a journey. Take them on your journey. I don't have my hair down. I don't have my face made up. I don't, I had a thought. And so because I had a thought, I thought I'd come here and share it with you because it was a reflection on world affairs. And it was a part of my why. And to this very day, I've been all over the world. I'm a speaker, author. I'm a personal brand first, diversifying myself as an author, speaker, researcher, investor, philanthropist. Yeah, all those things. So, and the beauty of developing your personal brand, I cannot say this to you enough, is baby, there are no caps, no walls, and no borders. Go out and be great today. Whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming. Have the most amazing day, everyone. Peace and blessings.